It's been half a year since I died in a car accident. As my wife, Sophia thought I was making trouble unreasonably and was waiting for me to go back and admit my mistake to her. Until one day, she suddenly couldn't find the watch. That watch was given to her by her childhood sweetheart. Because it was broken, she asked me to take it to a watch shop for repair. She called me to question me. "James, have you had enough? If you can't live with this anymore, you can get a divorce. Stop acting like a child, would you? Where did you put the watch I asked you to take to repair it for me? Did you hide it from me? After all these years, you still can't change your jealousy towards Ethan." It was my sister's voice on the other end of the phone. "Congratulations, Sophia, James is dead. He will never be jealous of Ethan anymore. I died in a car accident." I had a fight with Sophia that day because I made my first bucket of gold in my life that day and wanted to celebrate with her, but she went to celebrate Ethan's birthday. I didn't want her to go. She said I was making trouble unreasonably, and she said that she had been with Ethan for so many years and if she wanted to marry him, she would have done it already. I angrily smashed things at home and vented all my frustration over the years. She couldn't bear it and slapped me. "Stop fucking around, would you?" I didn't even feel chilled and suddenly gave up at that moment. I turned around and left. "James, if you walk out of this house today, don't ever come back." She threatened me from behind. As she wished, I really couldn't go back anymore. As I was driving away, I was involved in a major car accident and died at the scene. My sister came to take care of the aftermath for me. Perhaps she was too angry. She didn't tell Sophia about my death. But after I died, my soul followed Sophia inexplicably. Maybe there is still obsession. I saw that she still went to celebrate Ethan's birthday that day. Watching her prepare small gifts for him every holiday in the past 6 months. When Ethan made a call, she would rush to see him as soon as possible. Sometimes Ethan will kindly ask, "Is James back yet? Is it because of me that you and your husband are at odds?" If so, I will call James to apologize. "It has nothing to do with you, it's just that he is stingy." Sophia said coldly, "Leave him alone and see how long he can persist." After 7 years of relationship, I couldn't leave any trace of Sophia behind. Or maybe, I shouldn't have appeared in their world in the first place. With or without me, she still lives as usual. I am just a burden and encumbrance to her. Just when I thought Sophia's life would continue to be so careless. Until that day when Ethan suddenly asked about the watch, she probably won't thought about me if it wasn't that so. Then she called me very impatiently, "James, have you had enough? If you can't live with it anymore, you can get a divorce. Stop acting like a fucking child, would you? Where did you put the watch I asked you to take to repair for me? Did you hide the watch from me? After all these years, you still can't change your jealousy towards Ethan." My sister answered the phone. There was no word for a while, probably because she was really angry and couldn't say a word for a while. "Speak. Are you dead?" Sophia asked fiercely. "Dead?" My sister managed to say a single word coldly. "What nonsense are you talking about? Let James answer the phone." I said James is dead. My sister said every word, "Congratulations, Sophia. He will never be jealous of Ethan again." At this moment, there were some subtle emotional changes on Sophia's face. There was a flash of panic in her eyes, and the next moment she said sarcastically, "What tricks is James doing again? What? He thinks I will regret it if he dies? You tell him, either he comes back on his own, or he will really die outside." "He's dead," I said. "James is dead." My sister suddenly collapsed, and she shouted at Sophia, "He doesn't need you to regret it, because you are so cruel." "That's enough, Mia. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. I don't need you to interfere anything between James and me. Just give James the phone." My sister immediately hung up the phone on Sophia. I saw Sophia blushing with anger. Over the years, she has never compromised anything on me. In the quarrel between us, I always compromised in the end. She suppressed her anger and called me again. She said, "Ask James, he took the watch I gave him before and repaired it for me." "Where is it now?" "I need it urgently." "I don't know," my sister said coldly. "I asked you to ask James." "Sophia, go fuck yourself," my sister said through gritted teeth. She knows everything about me and Sophia, so she knows how good I am to Sophia. Sophia's various actions at this moment made her hate her so much. "How dare you? In the end, you will only miss the watch that Ethan gave you. To you, a watch is more important than James's life, right?" My sister's voice seemed to be choked, because she was not worth it for me. "Sophia hasn't spoken yet," my sister said angrily. "James is really dead, believe it or not, it's up to you. I won't answer your calls anymore, you will ruin James's reincarnation." Sophia was hung up on by my sister again. All I saw on her face was anger. She didn't have the slightest worry because my sister said I was dead. All she could think about now was, where did I hide the watch that Ethan gave her? To her, what Ethan gave her was of course more important than my life. I still remember the moment I had the car accident. I used my last strength to call her, and she hung up on me without hesitation. At that time, all I could think about was how she celebrate Ethan's birthday. How ridiculous. I started to wonder how I managed to survive all those years. But the good thing is, I don't know if people really have no heart after they die, or if I no longer have any feelings for Sophia. No matter how cruel Sophia is now, I don't seem to feel the heartache anymore. I just floated in the air, looking at her indifferently. Watching her gradually change from irritable to calm, and then her whole body became very sluggish. She stood motionless and didn't react at all for a long time. I had no idea what she was thinking and I had no expectations of her. Her phone suddenly rang. It was Ethan who called. They made an appointment to go hiking together today. The moment Sophia saw Ethan's call, the expression on her face eased significantly, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. I laughed too. Right, without expectations, there will be no disappointment. Ethan. Her voice was soft. In the past 6 months, I have heard too many conversations between her and Ethan. I seem to have almost forgotten how indifferent she used to be towards me. "Sophia, are you out? I've prepared everything. I'm driving to pick you up and I'll be there in 20 minutes. Ethan said gently. "Okay." Sophia quickly agreed, but did not forget to say, "Drive carefully on the road." After hanging up the phone, Sophia quickly went to the cloakroom. She was looking for clothes in the cabinet. After searching for a while, she didn't seem to find the one she wanted. She walked out of the room and shouted downstairs, "Emma, where is my Gucci sportswear?" The servant heard the sound and hurriedly went upstairs. "Madam, I have put all your clothes in the cabinet for you." "Which set are you talking about?" Sophia said impatiently. "It's brown, with 2 bars on both sides, and many logos on it." Emma didn't quite understand. She walked into the cloakroom and looked for Sophia. "Is this the one Madam looking for?" "No." Sophia said angrily, "I just looked for it and it's not here." In fact, that set of clothes was at the bottom of the cabinet. She just didn't have the patience to look for it. She never wastes time on unimportant things or people, just like she did with me. "I do not know then. You are my servant and are responsible for my daily life. And you can't even find my clothes?" Sophia said in a high voice. Sophia's temper was obviously stronger than usual today. "Huh? Are you so anxious to see Ethan?" Emma was a little embarrassed by Sophia's words. It took her a while to summon up the courage to say, "Sir used to take care of your clothes. He said that you were very particular about your clothes and he was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it well. You might as well just ask Sir directly." "Don't ask him for what?" Sophia refused and said sternly, "He'd better be capable and never come back for the rest of his life." Huh. So, in Sophia's mind, my death was just me playing tricks. She didn't believe I was really dead. She thought I was still using this method, waiting for her to coax me. Sophia angrily found a set of sportswear and quickly went out. She got into Ethan's car and went to the suburbs together. They climbed the mountain together, talking and laughing along the way. Whether I die or not has no effect on her at all. Halfway through the climb, Ethan suddenly looked back at Sophia. "Soph, what's wrong with you today? Why are you walking so slowly? Are you feeling unwell?" Sophia paused and looked up at him. "Why don't you take a rest? We're not in a hurry," Ethan said considerately. Sophia naturally took out a napkin and wiped the steps carefully before letting Ethan sit on it. But he stood on the railing on the side, looking at the scenery halfway up the mountain. "Sophia, what's wrong with you today? Why do I feel like you have something on your mind?" Ethan looked at her. "You can tell me anything, and I'll help you with it." "It's nothing," Sophia responded. "Maybe it's because of the heavy work pressure during this period. I know you are under a lot of pressure at work. That's why I wanted to take you out for a walk to relax," Ethan said quickly, his face filled with anticipation as if he was waiting for Sophia to praise him. Sophia unexpectedly remained silent. Ethan's face was slightly unhappy, but he quickly covered it up. After resting for a while, Sophia urged, "It's getting late, let's go. I'll carry you." Ethan volunteered and said seemingly unintentionally, "I exercise regularly and still have strength. James is so thin, so he probably doesn't have much strength." As he spoke, he deliberately lifted up his white shirt, revealing his solid 8-pack abs. "I am indeed much thinner than Ethan, and I have no muscles on my body. But in the past, I was also very athletic and very strong. And then, I kept drinking to help Sophia socialize, and I had to take care of her body and be busy with work. I had no time to exercise at all, and my body was working hard day and night, and became thinner and thinner. But Sophia couldn't see my efforts at all." "Huh, you even dislike my weakness, right? Why even mention him?" Sophia's expression suddenly changed. Ethan was slightly stunned. Probably, Sophia had never spoken so loudly to him. "I'm sorry." Ethan apologized quickly. "I don't know, did you two quarrel again?" "No," Sophia said perfunctorily, "I really can't walk anymore. Let's go down the mountain." "But, that's only half of it. It just so happens that I have some work to deal with in the afternoon, so I'll go back early." After that, Sophia left without leaving a word. I saw Ethan's face looked very bad. He gritted his teeth and kept up with Sophia. After getting off the mountain, Ethan drove the car and said proactively, "Sophia, let's have lunch together. I'm in a hurry to go back to work, so I won't eat together. I don't like eating alone." Ethan tried his best to persuade her. "How about having lunch with me? I promise that I will send you to the company after the lunch and I will never delay your work." After all, Sophia couldn't refuse Ethan and agreed. Ethan showed a triumphant smile. I have to admit that Ethan does have pride in front of Sophia. The car arrived at Ethan's favorite restaurant. When getting out of the car, Sophia started rubbing her stomach. Ethan seemed to have noticed it, and quickly asked with concern, "What's the matter? Does your stomach hurt?" Sophia nodded, then opened her bag and took out the medicine box inside. When she opened it, she found out that there is no medicine left. Sophia had been having stomachaches for a while. A few years ago, her family almost went bankrupt. In order to make a comeback, she worked almost day and night without eating or sleeping. Over time, she developed stomach problems. Later, after we got together, I often cooked porridge and served meals to her. Her stomach was healed a lot by me, but it still couldn't withstand the occasional relapse of gastric disease during social events. In order to prevent her stomachache from being too uncomfortable, I always prepare medicine and put it in her bag in advance. Also, I will often check if she got enough medicine in her bag, and I will refill it for her as soon as possible if the medicine was not enough. Logically speaking, Sophia shouldn't have finished taking the medicine so quickly. Thinking about it carefully, in the past 6 months since I have been away, no one reminded her when to eat, and no one take care about her body. She often did not eat on time, and she deserved the frequent recurrence of stomach problems. Let me rub it for you. Ethan took the initiative to approach Sophia and put his hand on her stomach. Just rub it and it'll be fine. Sophia was stunned for a moment, then pushed Ethan away. No, I'm probably hungry. Just eat. Let's go then. Ethan said with a smile as if nothing happened. Sophia pursed her lips and then both of them got out of the car together. Sitting at the dining table, Ethan kept ordering food with the waiter, and occasionally asked Sophia. Sophia's face turned pale due to stomachache, but she never wanted to show her weakness in front of Ethan. She couldn't bear Ethan to worry about her, so she endured everything by herself. Seeing her hurting like this, I felt a little bit happy for no reason. Better hurts to death. After Ethan ordered the food, he didn't notice anything wrong about Sophia. He was still talking so happily with her. Sophia, I ordered your favorite spicy boiled pork slices. You need to eat more later. I looked at Sophia's expression and finally changed a little. How can a person with stomachache eat such spicy food? Ethan really didn't realize anything at all. Back in the days, I was a person who really liked spicy food. In order to help Sophia nourish her stomach, I forced myself to keep a bland diet for a whole year. Finally, I realized that I have been just being mean to myself all these years. The meal is served. Sophia didn't eat much. Ethan was still a little bit confused. Sophia, don't you like the food I ordered for you? Why do you eat only so little? I have a bad stomach and can't eat spicy food anymore. Sophia said bluntly. Ah, I didn't even know that. What should I do? I'm sorry, Sophia, I'm sorry. Ethan apologized quickly, looking extremely self-blame. What Sophia couldn't stand the most was Ethan's sadness. You know, whenever there is thunder and lightning, and Ethan says that he is drunk outside and cannot go home, Sophia will drive to pick him up in the rain all night just to take him back. At this moment, she was afraid that her stomach hurt to death and she had to eat the food that Ethan ordered for her to comfort him. But Sophia only said lightly, "It's nothing, I have no appetite to eat anything now. Enjoy the meal, I'm going back to the company first." Ethan hadn't reacted yet. Sophia has left. She was sitting in a taxi and suddenly dug out the empty pillbox in her bag. The next moment, she threw the pillbox out of the window. Probably, out of sight, out of mind. She didn't go back to the company, she went home directly. So, she's still angry that Ethan wasn't attentive enough? Of course, it's also because you care about someone. After all, when I occasionally got sick and caught a cold, Sophia ignored me, which made me very angry. I just got used to it anyway. Madam, you are back. Have you had lunch yet? Emma hurriedly stepped forward to greet her. I will skip the lunch today, Sophia said with a gloomy face. How can you not eat? Sir said that you have a stomach problem and you will get a stomachache if you don't eat anything. Emma said with concern, let me help you to make some porridge. If you have no appetite, at least have some porridge, okay? Sophia paused, but finally did not refuse. Half an hour later, Emma brought the porridge to Sophia. During this period, Sophia had been sitting on the sofa watching TV, but she kept pressing the remote control and seemed very absent-minded. Ma'am, it's still very hot. Be careful. Yeah. Sophia responded, then picked up the spoon and took a slow bite. How does it taste, madam? Emma asked. Sophia swallowed the porridge and said indifferently, it tastes very similar to the porridge cooked by James. Sir taught me how to cook it. Emma said quickly. Sir said that if he was not at home, I need to make porridge for you, so he taught me how to do it. Sir said that madam has a bad stomach. It needs to be cooked until it is thicker and softer. Sir also said that madam doesn't like to eat vegetables, but you like broccoli, so every time when he makes porridge with vegetables, he will use broccoli instead. Sir is really attentive to Madam and always remembers every preference of yours. Emma talked a lot, and I couldn't listen anymore. It's not that Emma lied, it's just that they were all true, which made me feel that these were all a shame. Being nice to Sophia is the most regretful thing I have ever done in my life. Madam, please ask Sir to come back. He is really the person who loves you the most and treats you the best in this world. Emma couldn't help but say. Sophia seemed to pause. I thought she would disagree like before. At that moment, she remained silent. After Sophia finished eating the porridge, she returned to the room and lay on the bed. Judging from the look on her face, her stomach must have been relieved a lot. Her mobile phone kept ringing with messages, which were from Ethan. I'm sorry, Sophia. It's my fault that I didn't notice you felt unwell. Are you feeling better now? Do you want to go to the hospital? If so, I can go with you. Sophia, I didn't even know you had stomach problems. You didn't have them before. I always thought James would take good care of you. Sophia, are you angry? Why don't you reply to my message? After reading the message, Sophia suddenly stood up from the bed and quickly left the room. I couldn't help but feel funny looking at her anxious look. How could I ever deceive myself into thinking that Sophia only cared for Ethan as a friend? Because Ethan had no friends and his parents were very unfriendly to him, so Sophia just overflowed her sympathy. Now it seems that I am really a joke. Watching her driving like crazy to find Ethan. If you really love someone, you won't make him sad, right? I have already thought about how Sophia would comfort Ethan when she saw him. Maybe the emotions would be in place and the two of them would really be together. In the past 6 months, nothing substantial has happened yet. Probably because they were afraid that cheating in marriage would have a bad impact on each other's reputations, so they didn't go any further. I watched Sophia parks the car, rush into the elevator, and press the floor button. She walked to the door and pressed the doorbell eagerly. The door opened. I was shocked. Because the person who opened the door was my sister, Mia. It was also at this moment that I noticed that this was not even Ethan's home, this was my sister's home. The moment my sister saw Sophia, she slammed the door without hesitation. Sophia reacted quickly and grabbed the door, but her hand was caught by the door. Sophia endured the severe pain. My sister also endured it and asked coldly, "What are you doing here? You are not welcomed here. I'm looking for James." Sophia's voice was hoarse because of the pain. Isn't it clear what I said on the phone? James is dead. If you really want to find him, just die. If you die, you can see him again. My sister said viciously. That's enough, Mia. We are married and it's not your turn to talk about things between us. Sophia was embarrassed by my sister's scolding, but she still didn't believe that I'm already dead. What are you doing in here then? Get out of here. Can't believe that you still have the nerve to talk about marriage. Have you ever fulfilled your responsibilities as a wife? Come on, get out, it's so disgusting. How dare you? Sophia is not really good at how to defend herself. We used to quarrel, and I suffered from her cold violence. At this moment, if I were her and being insulted like this by my sister, I think I will just stand still and couldn't react anything at all. I will call the police if you don't leave now. My sister threatened. I was wrong and I am sorry. Sophia suddenly said. I was shocked. My sister was also shocked. After so many years, when did Sophia ever feel sorry? Even if I was forced to harm myself, she would still think I was making trouble unreasonably. Let me see James, and I'll have a good talk with him. Sophia said calmly. Talk? My sister smiled sarcastically. At that moment, my eyes were really red. After all, I'm dead. Talk to a ghost? My sister said, Sophia, do you think you have been worthying of James in the past few years? I have a clear conscience. Sophia said sternly. You and Ethan are so entangled, and you still have a clear conscience? My sister couldn't control herself again. Ethan and I are innocent. Innocent? What does that innocent mean? Do you guys really have to sleep on the same bed to not be innocent? Huh. Probably you guys have done it already, my sister roared at Sophia. When James was sick, you stayed with Ethan. When James celebrates his birthday, as soon as Ethan calls you, you go to see him regardless of the weather or timing. James wanted to celebrate when he made his first bucket of gold, but you chose to celebrate Ethan's birthday. James is jealous because of Ethan, and you are still blaming him for not being generous enough, not being a man enough, and said he is petty. The more my sister talked about, the more she collapsed. Sophia, do you really think you are qualified enough as a wife? How can you have the nerve to say that you have a clear conscience towards James? Sophia hasn't opened his mouth to defend yet. My sister said excitedly, don't forget that when you had nothing, it was James who accompanied you through the darkest moment, not Ethan. In the end, see what did you give to James, and what did you give to Ethan? I gave James a home. Home? My sister smiled even more sarcastically. What kind of home? A widow's home. A wife who is always by the side of other man is more terrifying than being widowed. Have you said enough? Sophia became angry in embarrassment. I admit that James did accompany me through difficulties, but Ethan was also very kind to me. When I was in the worst financial situation, it was Ethan who filled the gap for me by selling cars and houses. And I am very grateful to him. Is it wrong? What did you say? What did you say? Not only my sister was surprised, but I was also surprised. When did Ethan sell houses and cars and provide funds for Sophia to fill the financial gap? I couldn't help but start to recall every moment that Sophia and I had. I wonder if people will easily forget things when they are dead. I can no longer remember many things from my lifetime. I can still vaguely remember that I met Sophia when I just graduated from college and went to work at her family company. Sophia had just joined the company at that time. In order to train her, her parents asked her to start at the grassroots level. I thought she was just like us. Just normal employees. As a new employee, she was so calm and unlike the rest of us, had outstanding abilities, and was also bright and beautiful. We were assigned to the same group and we did a lot of work together. As time went by, I started to fall in love with her. But what made me feel that I really fell in love with her was when she dropped me off after we finished working overtime that day. As soon as I got out of the car, I was stopped by my alcoholic uncle and some of his drunken friends, who asked me to give him money or they would beat me to death. My parents died young, in an accident while working in the factory. Before they died, my uncle was taken care of by my mother because of his young age and my grandparents died early. After my mother died, my uncle was helpless and looked for my sister and me when he had no money. We used to give him some money, but later he asked for more and more. There was no way my sister and I could afford it, so we just ignored him. He stalked us so hard, and in order to get rid of him, my sister and I were forced to move to somewhere else, but he found us anyway. That night, Sophia asked her father to call a dozen bodyguards for her and rescued me from my uncle and his drunken friends. If you dare to touch James again, I'll beat you guys to death. It's none of your business. My uncle said viciously. James's matter is my matter, and I will take care of it to the end. Sophia said firmly. And she actually did it. After that, she sent me home every day, accompanied by 2 or 3 tall and strong bodyguards, who would beat my uncle whenever she saw him. Over time, my uncle really didn't dare to come to bother my sister and me anymore. At that time, Sophia really seemed like an angel descending to earth. There was a sudden pain in my heart. It turns out that dead people can still feel the pain. It's just, I don't care anymore. After that, I thought about confessing my love to her, but I realized that Sophia is the daughter of the company's owner and there is a huge gap between me and her. The inferiority complex caused by that made me bury this feeling in my heart. Later, the company's investment failed due to the leadership's decision-making and had to face bankruptcy. Many people had left the company, but I chose to stay with Sophia, and I was so glad that this was the closest distance I could get to Sophia. I accompanied Sophia to so many social events and I have been drinking a lot for her, ending up in the hospital because of stomach bleeding so many times. I worked overtime with her every day, even stayed up at the company all night. During her most difficult 2 years, I was 178 centimeters tall and weighed no more than 120 pounds. In her darkest moment, I transferred all the $1.5 million compensations left over from my parents' accidental death into her account, including my sister's share. My sister didn't agree at first, but later she couldn't resist my unwavering love for Sophia, so she gave me the money. Of course, I returned the double amount to my sister later. To avoid being taxed by the government, I transferred the money into her account anonymously. After Sophia received the money, she finally brought the company back on track. She hugged me and cheered. We celebrated together that night. Under the influence of alcohol, both of us couldn't help ourselves, and naturally we got together. I always thought she knew I was the one who gave her the money. She fell in love with me and married me. I thought this was because she knew all my efforts and was touched by it. So, I never deliberately mentioned about that $1.5 million. But now, Sophia suddenly said that the money she urgently needed was given by Ethan. You said that Ethan sold cars and houses to fill the financial gap for you? My sister confirmed again. Yes, so why shouldn't I be nice to him? He even turned against his family in order to help me. Sophia said angrily, shouldn't I repay such a favor? It's James who never understand about me and being petty all the time. Ha! My sister laughed. She smiles like an idiot. She said, is this what Ethan told you, that he even offended everyone because of you? Sophia could also see my sister's sarcasm. You don't need to be like this. James is not the only good person in this world. Why do you have to look down on others so much? I look down on Ethan. Yes, I look down on men like him. But I look down on you even more in this moment. My sister said fiercely, let's not talk about other things. What Ethan has done for you. Did you ever tell James? Does James ever know that? You are just returning a favor to Ethan only? Sophia suddenly became speechless. She literally never told me. I didn't know either. If I had made it clear earlier, I would have known that she mistakenly thought that the $1.5 million was given by Ethan. Or, maybe none of this is important. Sophia just wanted to find a reasonable excuse for herself to be nice to Ethan. Without that $1.5 million, there could be other excuses. Does James know about everything and what you were thinking? All he sees is that his wife is wholeheartedly treating good to other man. My sister roared. He was jealous and his wife was still blaming him for being unreasonable. I told him that there is nothing between us. Sophia retorted weakly. There are so many people cheating in this world, and everyone said that they didn't. And see what happened as a result. My sister asked Sophia, and collapsed again and said, but James still believed in you and had always believed in you. If he trusts me, he won't quarrel with me like this. Why didn't he divorce with you if he had never believed in you? Why did he work so hard just to stay with you? Even in order to prevent others from thinking that he was taking advantage of you, he chose to leave the company after the company went back on track and worked so hard just to start a new business. Sophia looked at my sister, probably stunned by her anger. Do you know how much James's body was damaged just to start a new business? Do you think you are the only one who has stomach problems? James also had it. It's even 100 times worse than you. While you had stomach pain, his stomach probably bleeding like hell. The doctor said that his chance of getting gastric cancer is 10 times more than normal people. Sophia pursed her lips tightly and remained silent. Yes, I really went through a lot of trouble trying to get her to drink less. After that, in order to take care of her health, I completely ignored mine, causing my health getting worse and worse. Forget about it. No matter how much I say to people like you, it's not going to help. My sister suddenly didn't want to say anything anymore. She was afraid that if she continued talking, she would not be able to bear it. Now that James is gone, You and your lover Ethan should be together. Give me a chance. Sophia pulled my sister sharply, her eyes sincere. I want to talk to James again. My sister hesitated. I could tell that she didn't want to talk to Sophia anymore. Finally, she agreed, wait here for a while. All right. My sister turned back to the room and changed her clothes for going out. Isn't James inside? Sophia asked my sister. My sister didn't answer her and walked straight into the elevator. Sophia still followed and got in my sister's car. My sister parked the car on the suburbs. Sophia got out of the car angrily and asked my sister, "Why did you bring me here? Even if I did not do enough for James, you shouldn't tease me like this." My sister didn't even want to reply her. She turned and walked directly into a path. I know this is where my sister buried me, and my parents are here too. I saw Sophia angrily following my sister. I thought, given her personality, she would turn around and walk away. My sister's footsteps stopped in front of a grave. Fortunately, back in the days, Sophia took time out of her busy schedule to accompany me to pay homage to my parents, so she should remember this place. Why did you bring me to your parents' graveyard? Sophia didn't finish her words. Because she saw my tombstone and my name is written on it. There is also a black and white photo of me when I was alive. Her whole body seemed to have suddenly turned to stone, looking at my tombstone steadily. As if she didn't believe what she was seeing, she was confirming over and over again whether it was my name on the tombstone. Is James really dead? I saw her eyes suddenly turned red. She was caught off guard and turned red in a frightening way. I don't feel anything in this moment. My sister also. Crocodile tears are never worthy of sympathy. I don't believe it. Sophia suddenly said with certainty, did James deliberately play tricks on me? Did you deliberately use this method to retaliate against me? How could such a good person just die so easily? Who would curse himself like this? Sophia, don't you know what kind of person James is? He has been afraid of causing trouble to others since he was a child. Could he be able playing tricks like this? Besides, he can't take revenge on you since he is dead, right? But why did he die? Sophia still didn't believe it. Why? My sister sneered, probably thinking of the tragic moment when I died, and tears flowed out uncontrollably. Didn't you go to celebrate Ethan's birthday half a year ago? James had a car accident when he went out that day. No, it won't. Sophia shook her head. Emotions are breaking down, falling apart little by little. I didn't receive any news. I didn't receive any news that he had a car accident. Sophia said loudly. Because you didn't answer his call. My sister was also angry. Finally, he called me and said he was going to die and he told me not to be sad and not to bother you. My sister covered her face and burst into tears at the painful memories. Sophia's whole body became frozen. She looked at my grave and then my sister. I saw her body tremble. Trembling like crazy. Is it Bekassu, the fear of the death? Or, she feels a little bit sad because of my death? James was still thinking about you until his very last moment, and was afraid of causing any bad impact at your life. But you? What were you doing? You were singing happy birthday to Ethan. My sister said while crying. She is not worthy for me, really. Actually, I'm not that great. Maybe before, I did sacrifice a lot for Sophia without any regrets. But the last call I made to my sister was not because I was afraid of causing any bad impact on Sophia, but because I really didn't want to have anything to do with her anymore. Bang! I saw Sophia kneeling straight in front of my tombstone and made a loud noise. My sister raised her head and glanced at Sophia, looking at her grief-stricken look, but there was only sarcasm in her eyes. Who are you showing this to? James is dead, and he won't see it anymore. I can see it. Just no feeling at all. I still find Sophia's current appearance very annoying. I always feel that I cannot reincarnate because she is in my way. Suddenly, Sophia kowtowed crazily to my grave. There were violent sounds, and her head was bleeding a lot. My sister looked at her actions coldly. I was also a little unhappy. If she wants to die, she can die far away and don't disturb me. My sister never tried to pull her away. And I can't do anything with my soul. I do not know how long it has been. Sophia suddenly stopped. The moment she stopped, her body shrank into a ball, and then I heard a suppressed cry. Now you know your head hurts? Ha, you deserve it. Sophia, I supposed to follow James's will and never bother you again. But since you regret so much right now, I will tell you the truth. My sister took out my phone. This is James's phone. The memo records every bit of the relationship between you two, as well as what your favorite childhood sweetheart has done to James. Sophia turned to look at my sister dully. Her eyes were blood red. This is something I've never seen before. My body twisted and fluttered in front of my sister, trying to stop her. I don't want to give Sophia my phone. I don't care if she feels guilty enough, or she regrets enough. To me, this person is as good as dead. Oh, no, I am the one who is dead. But everything she does right now doesn't matter anymore. I saw Sophia's trembling hands, took the phone over, and then held it tightly in her hand, so hard that her nails dug into her skin. The password is your birthday, my sister said. Sophia was startled. The next moment, the shaking became even worse. The redness under her eyes became more and more obvious. My sister got up and left. At this moment, she has done everything she could for Sophia. And my sister was able to do this probably because she knew very well how much I loved Sophia. And she doesn't want my love to be disappeared like that. The wind is very strong in the desolate mountains. My whole soul was blown to pieces and I was trembling. Sophia knelt in front of my grave for a long time. After a long time, she finally picked up my mobile phone. She pressed the password, her birthday. She pressed the password, her birthday. The screen opened, and the wedding photos of me and her were on the home screen. Sophia bit her lip tightly, tears kept falling. Slowly, she opened my memo. I have the habit of keeping a diary. I used to write it in a notebook, but as technology advanced, I started writing it on my phone and I've had this phone for 5 years. I have been a nostalgic person ever since I was a child. Otherwise, I won't have loved Sophia wholeheartedly for so many years. February 4, 2018. I bought a new phone and spent a lot of money to have the same model as Sophia. Today is a beautiful day. May 6, 2018. The company is going bankrupt soon and everyone has to leave. If I don't leave, I will stay with her forever, as long as she doesn't push me away. She won't push me away, will she? I really want to confess to her. July 15, 2018. Sophia praised the delicious porridge I cooked today. I was very happy. After I failed so many times and finally succeeded. August 20, 2018. It feels so bad to be drunk. But it doesn't feel that bad if Sophia could drink less because of me. October 13, 2018. The company is still short of 1.5 million to fill up the gap. I accompanied Sophia to so many banks, but none of them offered loans for us. Seeing Sophia's anxious look, I couldn't help but finally spoke to my sister and took away the compensation of the insurance left by my parents. It was for me and my sister. I know it means a lot. But my sister is the best person to me in this world, so she gave me the money anyway. I promise, when I get rich in the future, I will definitely make it up for her. January 5, 2019. Sophia finally won the project, and the company is finally back on track. She took me to celebrate together, and we drank a lot of wine. She said she was very grateful to me for always being by her side, and very grateful for everything. We are together now. I think I am the happiest person in the world. March 25, 2019. I met Ethan, Sophia's best friend today. He is so handsome, with a gentle temperament and fair skin. What should I do? I seem a little bit jealous of him. I think Sophia is being too good to him. May 16, 2019. Sophia suddenly mentioned marriage to me. I was actually a little bit flattered. She said her parents were pushing her hard and we had been dating for a year. I agreed without much hesitation. Anyway, I never thought about marrying anyone else except her. May 23, 2020. On the wedding night, Sophia went to pick up Ethan. She said that Ethan was so drunk and could not find his way home. She said that she would come back after sending him home. But she didn't come back all night. And I received a message and photos from Ethan. He said, "Borrow your wife for one night and I'll return her to you tomorrow." His tone was clearly showing off. October 25, 2020. Sophia has been spending more and more time with Ethan. She will go whenever Ethan calls her. I complained to her, but she said that I thought too much. She said that if she and Ethan wanted to be together, we would have done it already, and there was no way we could wait until now. Even though I was so angry, I really believed it. I believe she won't betray me. April 16, 2021. I thought I could tolerate Sophia forever. I can also deceive myself every time Sophia leaves. She is just going to meet some normal friends only. Everyone has their own social circle. But Ethan sent me photos of him and Sophia again and again. He said, "James, don't mind. Sophia and I have been like this since childhood. There is nothing between us." What the hell is that? Provocative? June 20th, 2021. Sophia is pregnant. When I knew the news, I was so happy that I couldn't help myself. But Sophia told me that she didn't want children yet. She said the company was on the rise and she couldn't stop. I'm really sad. I really want a child with her. But I will only respect her choice. August 16, 2021. I don't want to write anymore. My original intention of writing a diary was to record every happy moment, but now it seems like they are all negative emotions. I can't stand the relationship between Sophia and Ethan more and more. I don't know how long I can hold it in. I think I can't hold it anymore. By the way, I started my own business. Never give up. August 12, 2022. It took me a whole year. The company I started my own business finally got its first order, and the price was quite good. I'm really happy. It's not in vain that I worked day and night, and now I'm finally catching up with Sophia. I really don't want Sophia to be teased by anyone again. Said that she has a toy boy or something. But does Sophia care? Every time she is teased by her friends, she laughs it off. She doesn't get angry because that is not important, right? But I still wanted to celebrate with her. Just like when I worked hard with her and she shared her joy with me when she finally succeeded, I really want to go back to the way we were back then. I really want her to see that I work really hard to love her. My memo ended here. After all, I died after that day. I watched Sophia's big tears fall on the screen of my phone. Is it guilt? Or regret? But it doesn't matter anymore. I really didn't feel anything at all. I'm sorry. Sophia suddenly said. The voice was hoarse. Bullshit. I tried my best, but still couldn't make a sound. I really want to tell her, stop being so hypocritical. Not only I have no feelings for you anymore, but I have never thought of forgiving you. I didn't know that day you succeeded in starting a business. If I knew, that day. Sophia couldn't continue. Sophia covered her heart in pain. Probably the stomachache came back again. She shrunk and fell at my grave. The sky gradually darkened. Sophia's phone suddenly rang. She stirred. If she didn't move, I thought she was dead too. She took out her phone. It was Ethan who called. She answered the call. Hello. Sophia, where are you? I have a cold and a fever. Can you come to my house? Ethan's extremely weak voice came from over there. Yeah. Sophia agreed immediately. I laughed again. Is this her confession? It's really deeply touching. I watched Sophia stand up from the ground. Her stomach doesn't seem to hurt anymore, and my whole body feels calm. She drove directly to Ethan's home. The door opens. Ethan appeared in front of her with a weak face. Sophia, you are finally here. I feel like I am going to die. As he spoke, he deliberately leaned against Sophia. Sophia avoided him. You were fine this morning. I didn't see that you were sick. Maybe I caught a cold suddenly? Ethan said deliberately, I also heard people say that sometimes a bad mood can affect the body, causing the body to have cold symptoms. He just wanted to tell Sophia that he was in a bad mood today and he wanted her to stay with him. Sophia, come here. I made porridge for you. Don't you have a stomachache? I heard that porridge can nourish the stomach. Ethan said flatteringly. Sophia was pulled by Ethan to sit near the dining table. Then a bowl of porridge was served. Try it, I cooked it by myself. Ethan looked expectant. His eyes stayed focused on Sophia. Sophia, what's wrong with your forehead? Why is it swollen and bleeding? Did you just find out now? Sophia asked sarcastically. It was too dark just now, what happened to you? Ethan asked anxiously. Nothing. She picked up the bowl of porridge in front of her and took a bite. After eating it, there was no emotion on her face, and I couldn't tell what the porridge tasted like. Is it delicious? Ethan asked expectantly. Have you tasted it yet? Sophia asked him. No, it's only for you. Really? Sophia put down the bowl and spoon with another sarcastic smile on her lips. Isn't it delicious? Ethan seemed to have noticed that Sophia was acting strange today. Ethan quickly took a bite by himself. As soon as he ate it, he almost vomited it out. He said with a grimace, I'm so stupid. I turned the salt into MSG. I don't know how to cook, but I still want to surprise you. I'm really clumsy. Who will be born knowing how to cook? Sophia asked Ethan, as if she was asking herself. Are you angry? James's porridge is always perfect. Sophia said, murmuring to herself, he should have tasted it again and again before letting me to eat. When Ethan heard Sophia talking about me, his face obviously turned bad. Soph, what happened to you today? I feel like you are acting weird. You have never compared me with James before. You know that I have never suffered since I was a child. How come, like James, he has no parents? I'm sick today and I cooked porridge for you. Aren't you touched at all? Ethan said sadly. Sophia looked at him with an increasingly unfamiliar look. Yes, James has no parents, but I have never treated him well. He has cooked porridge for me so many times, and I have never thanked him once. Sophia, what's wrong with you? Did you quarrel with James today? Did James threaten you? Ethan said angrily. Do you love me? Sophia suddenly asked him. Ethan was stunned and a little bit surprised. He never thought that Sophia would suddenly ask him like this. I have been with Sophia for the past 6 months, and I have indeed never heard Sophia take the initiative to mention the so-called relationship between them. Now I'm dead. Have you finally decided to take that step without any worries? I saw Ethan getting a little excited, and he said, Sophia, for so many years I thought you knew it already. So, you love me? Sophia confirmed again. I love you. I have always loved you, otherwise I wouldn't be so caring about you. As soon as I heard that you had a stomachache, I would learn how to make porridge for you, even though it wasn't good, and I would never sell cars and house to help you if it wasn't for that. Just because you love me, and you were trying your best to ruin the relationship between James and me, right? Sophia sneered. I didn't. I have always respected the relationship between you and James. That's why I have never crossed the line. Ethan said in a panic, did James say something to you on purpose? Are you starting to not believe me? You said you sold your house and cars to help me. Do you still remember the exact day you gave me the money? Sophia asked. How could I remember something that happened so long ago? What about the specific amount? More than 1 million. Ethan's eyes flickered. I gave all the money to you at that time. Ah! Ethan screamed in fright. Because at this moment Sophia suddenly stood up from the chair, took out a shiny long dagger and pointed it at Ethan's chest. Stop lying to me. I didn't lie to you,
Sophia, come on, just calm down.
Ethan's face was obviously a little panicked. James is the one who gave me the 1.5 million, not you.
Sophia said through gritted teeth.
The long dagger she was holding was trembling and shaking on Ethan's chest. Don't be like this, Sophia, don't be like this.
Ethan was so frightened that his face turned pale.
His hands frantically touched the things on the dining table, grabbed the bowl of porridge that Sophia had just eaten, and smashed the bowl directly on Sophia's head without hesitation.
Sophia's body tensed up. Ethan took the opportunity to run away.
The top of Sophia's head was covered with blood.
Next moment, Sophia suddenly stabbed from the back.
Ethan lost control of the pain, and his whole body fell to the ground. Sophia, are you crazy? Sophia's eyes were red, filled with murderous blood.
She asked him in a trembling voice, "Why did you lie to me? Why?" Sophia is ready to stab Ethan again.
That's because I loved you. Ethan confessed everything and probably knew that he couldn't lie anymore.
I just went abroad for 2 years, and you and James were together. He took you from me. Yes. He is not worthy of you at all. You are the one who is not worthy of me.
Sophia said harshly, why did you go abroad during the 2 most difficult years I was facing?
Was it because you were afraid that I would implicate or slow you down?
Ethan couldn't find an excuse to refute.
I watched their argument from above and just thought it was so funny.
After so many years, Sophia, finally willing to see what kind of person Ethan is.
You really deserve to die. The hatred in Sophia's eyes became stronger.
Don't mess with me, you will pay with your whole life.
I will call the police. I will call the police right away. Ethan wanted to take out his cell phone and make a call. Sophia didn't hesitate at all. She stabbed again and the dagger go through Ethan's hand completely. Ah!
Ethan was so painful, and his cell phone slipped down as well. The next moment, Sophia pulled the dagger out, fiercely raising the dagger in her hand, trying to stab his chest this time.
Please don't kill me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lied to you like this, and I shouldn't have ruined the relationship between you and James. Ethan was really scared, and he began to beg for mercy. Please let me go. Sophia, please let me go.
Come on, let me go and I will apologize to James, okay?
I'll apologize.
Apologize? Sophia's face became even crueler. James is dead. How do you apologize to him? Ethan was stunned.
He thought he heard that wrong. James is dead. Ethan, James has been dead for half a year because of you.
Sophia roared at him, if you want to apologize to him, just die.
No, I didn't kill him. I didn't hurt him.
Ethan, such an adult, was so frightened when he cried. It was your birthday that day and you were so insisted asking me to stay with you. When James and I lost our temper and left, he got into a car accident. Sophia said harshly, if it weren't for you, James wouldn't have died that day. How can you blame me?
You came here yourself. You are the one who caused his death.
What does it have to do with me? Ethan said in a broken voice. Yes, I was also responsible for James's death, so both of us need to die together for our sins.
Sophia said. She no longer hesitated and stabbed the sharp dagger directly into Ethan's heart. I just floated above and watched them.
Happy? Can't say I am not happy.
Revenge always feels good.
But it's hard to say how happy I am.
After all, I am dead.
No matter what will end up to them, they can't bring me back. Just treat it like a show.
In the end, the play was not very satisfactory.
Because at the last moment, Ethan grabbed the stool next to him and knocked Sophia unconscious.
Then he rolled out of the house and called the police. Sophia was arrested for intentional injury and then placed in a detention center.
Her parents came to get bail pending trial, but she refused. But Ethan came to see her later.
When he arrived, his hands and back were still wrapped in bandages, showing signs of being stabbed by Sophia. Sophia, James is dead. Is it worth it for you to make us end up like this for him?
Ethan asked her. The most unworthy thing for me is that I didn't kill you and bury you with him.
Sophia said through gritted teeth.
James is such an ordinary man.
He is not worthy of you at all, but you risk your life for him.
It's me who doesn't deserve him.
It's me who tarnished his love for me. The thing I regret most in my life is that you hurt him. Ha ha.
Ethan was so angry that he laughed out loud. Well, actually I was about to came here have a good talk with you today and then withdraw the lawsuit against you.
Since you are so unrepentant, then you can enjoy your jail food. Anyway, for me what I cared about the most was your money.
Yes, you are right.
I never gave you the money. I lied to you.
James was dumb enough to do good deeds without leaving his name deserves to be taken credit for.
And yeah, I was trying to stir up the relationship between you and James. I sent our ambiguous photos to James from time to time. I thought James would get divorced in just a year and a half.
That man actually tolerated you for more than 2 years.
That's enough.
Sophia suddenly became furious. The prison guard held Sophia down tightly and said, "Don't try anything."
Ha, enjoy the jail.
Ethan stopped talking to Sophia and left.
Later, Sophia was sentenced to 3 years in prison for intentional injury.
The day Sophia was imprisoned, my soul was suddenly able to leave her side.
I started wandering around. I went to see my sister. My sister finally found a good man. I watched her get married,
Watched her get pregnant, and watched her gradually come out of the shadow of my death.
3 years have passed. My soul is still wandering around,
But it's just becoming more and more powerless.
I saw a woman that day.
A person who is somehow familiar, but I can't remember.
She had short hair and came out of prison. After she came out, she went to my grave. Strange.
Why is she here?
I watched her squatting in front of my tombstone,
Touching the photo on the tombstone little by little with her bony fingers.
She said, "James, I'm sorry."
James? My name is James? I am sorry. I am so sorry.
I saw pain in her eyes. It seems heartbreaking. I love you and always have.
Ethan and I admit that I had feelings for him before, but after I met you, you are everything to me in this world.
I thought he sacrificed everything to help me, so I wanted to be as nice to him as possible to make up for him. I also always thought that since I married you, I was yours, so I didn't need to owe you anything anymore. I even take it for granted to enjoyed your kindness to me.
After getting used to your kindness, I just forgot that you also have feelings.
And you will also feel sad because of my neglect of you. As she talked, she cried. Then she covered her heart tightly with her hands.
It seemed like the pain was excruciating. After a long time, she laughed at herself and said, "It's too late, right?
You are dead, you are already dead.
I will never see you again, James. I miss you so much. I really miss you."
She cried for a long time in front of my tombstone. When she finally left, she said, "I will be with you soon." I didn't know what she meant, but I still followed her inexplicably. I watched her drive a car and parked it on a street.
One day passed.
Suddenly, she stepped on the accelerator and rushed out. There was a clang sound. A man was knocked away by her.
The body was ejected several meters. His face is beyond recognition, and bleeding a lot. Her car was also hit hard against the railing next to it, and the entire front of the car was deformed.
I am clearly a ghost.
Why would I feel scared when seeing this horrible and bloody look?
I turned around and floated away immediately.
The moment I left, I heard someone calling me, "James, James, is that you? You are always by my side, right?"
I was frightened. I just feel like the person chasing me behind me is scary.
I was floating, my consciousness became more and more chaotic, and my soul became more and more scattered. I know that I am leaving this world.
Gone forever.
The moment when my soul is gone.
In a hospital delivery room, the sound of a newborn crying could be heard.